Hello, everyone. It is Jacqueline Howard with the Flying Dog Foundation. And with me is my partner and co-founder, Ellen Ganopoulos. Sorry, Ellen.
How do you all?
And with us, we do have a guest. We have Hayley Cameron, and Hayley is with MotorCity Greyhound Rescue. And the reason we wanted to get together with Hayley and have a conversation with her is because her rescue, again, MotorCity Greyhound Rescue in Detroit, Michigan, is expecting to very soon have a flight come in from China, which will have on board 4 meat trade survivor dogs that were rescued by Candy's Hound Rescue International, another partner of ours. And we, the Flying Dog Foundation, are going to help finance that flight. We have about half the money right now, and we're fundraising for the other half. So we wanted to talk to Hayley and find out more about this transport. So I'm just going to get right to the questions. Is that okay, Hayley?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Sure. And just to add, Hayley is a trustee on the board of MotorCity Greyhound Rescue, and she's also their social media manager. So nice job on that, Hayley.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So first question for you, Hayley, when are these dogs arriving from China?
So we don't have a flight booked yet. It's in the works, but we are looking at the end of July, possibly early August. And so we're still getting foster homes lined up. We are almost there. So yeah, we're super excited about it. So definitely July, early August is what we're looking at.
Okay. And are they going to be, when you say you're looking for foster homes, I know sometimes MotorCity sometimes has dogs in Canada, sometimes they're in Michigan. Where will the foster homes that you're looking for be located?
Yes, great question. So for right now, because the dogs are flying into JFK, we're looking at foster homes in the Metro Detroit area because of the different stipulations and like laws and things like that of importing the dogs. It does have to be in the US. But we are getting dogs coming in from Australia probably around the same time. And those dogs need foster homes in Ontario, Canada.
What I really want to know, Hayley, is about the 4 dogs that are coming. What can you tell me?
So Carrie, their founder, should be going to China soon, and she's going to be getting us some more information, hopefully some videos, some more info from the kennels there. But what we do know is Lassie, who's one of the girls coming over, she was supposed to be on our last transport when I think there was 20 of them that were coming over to the States, and we took in a handful and then other rescues took in some. But Lassie was supposed to come then, and like right before, like when they're doing their checks and everything, they found a tumor that needed to be removed. So she unfortunately, like she had her ticket, she was ready to go, and she had to stay back and get that taken care of. But it was a benign tumor. They were able to remove it. She's got a clean bill of health now. And so she's one that we're really, really looking forward to coming. I mean, obviously all of them, but that's just such a special story to hear that, like, it's like this is her second chance, maybe even third chance, right? At really finding, you know, a great home and getting her out of where she currently is and ready to find her new forever home. So we're really excited about that.
That's great. And good for Lassie. I want to switch gears a little bit. And Ellen, I hope I don't embarrass you, but I want to sing your praises. So Ellen,
Go on with you. Well, I'm sorry.
So Ellen is a transporter. She does round trip into Madrid from New Jersey or New York. I think, do you do New Jersey, Ellen, or is it New York?
No, it would just be JFK, and I've done DC only because it has to be a direct flight back and forth.
Yeah.
Right. Back and forth to Madrid, getting Spanish galgos and Podencos as well, Ellen, I believe.
Correct.
No mastines. I think it's too big. There's not a carrier big enough.
Actually, we did. Bill did mastines, but they were puppies. Once they're full grown,
yeah, the only way we're going to get them here, because as the name implies, they're enormous. So Ellen, congratulations on your 40th transport. That's really amazing. And those dogs really do so much along with their adopters. But Hayley, I know you have done a transport to China.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what
I
was that like?
Oh my gosh, there is just nothing like it. I've done three. I'm very blessed that I got to bring back the dogs that I did, but then also just, the experience, right, of being able to fly across the world and experience, all the things. But yeah, so I first went in June of 2018, and that trip was one of the first, or one of the last times rather, that our group used EVA Air, and which we were able to bring back, did I bring 5 or 10? Oh my gosh. I think I
Oh
brought,
my gosh.
I should have looked this up.
Is a lot.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, actually, yeah, I believe it was 10. It was a big group because at that time with that airline, they were able to fly, like we didn't have to get them off the plane. So the flight was out of Chicago. It went from Chicago to Taipei, and then had like that was like a 14-hour flight. So that was my first time traveling solo ever.
I was
And
going to
15
ask
hour
you,
flight.
you did this for 5 to 10 dogs by yourself?
Yeah, I did it by myself. But what was nice though is that with that airline and the way they did things back then, the dogs didn't have to be brought off the plane until their final destination. So they, when we were flying back, right, it was layover in Taipei and then onward to Chicago. And at that point, the dogs just were moved by the airline. So they, I didn't have to do anything until I got to Chicago, in which I was just greeted by all of our amazing volunteers who drove from Michigan to meet us all in Chicago. And then I remember I had my car there. So I transported, with another volunteer, we transported 1 or 2 in my car and then everybody else, right? The second time I went, I brought back 3. And I did do that by myself, and I did have a 10-hour layover in Paris. Anything that could go wrong kind of went wrong. Like everybody was safe, but it's like there was pee, there was this, there was trying to get people to help me navigate 3 crates in the busy Paris airport to get
Wow.
the dogs pottied. And so that was quite the adventure. We did that a couple times, a couple different runs like that. And then the last couple times we went, I did go with another volunteer. And so we got to bring back 3 dogs each. So we each brought back, so we brought back a total of 6 dogs. And that was a lot easier to have a second person with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Navigate that 10-hour layover in the Paris airport.
Ellen, how does that compare with some of your more harrowing Spain transports?
Well, I remember I have direct flight, so I have the luxury of, go over, get the dogs. The next thing I know, I'm at the airport. And if everything went well and they didn't accidentally send the dogs to cargo, which has happened in the past, you know, I just bring the dogs out and there's a team waiting there for me. But when you have, China's of course a very long flight, and of course breaking it up where the dogs get a break is great. But as Hayley mentioned, it is very difficult in an airport to handle multiple dogs. And a lot of times, people want to help, but there are language barriers and challenges there. But my kudos to you, because that's fantastic. What a wonderful thing you've done, and successfully, and that's great.
Ellen, I want to talk about JFK a little bit. We touched
Sure.
on it a little bit before. I know JFK in New York City is one of the airports that you use. MotorCity uses JFK. Sometimes rescues will use a place called the Ark, which is on
Sure.
the property of JFK. What is Ark?
The Ark is a facility that was it was basically built for the very high-end expensive racehorses that come into JFK. It's a place for these horses to go once they get off the plane. It is a state-of-the-art facility. And I know that what can happen is if somebody has some paperwork that might have gotten messed up, or you are greeted with a challenge when the dogs land. To make things easier, a lot of times the customs people will say, well, just bring these dogs to the ARC and we'll get it sorted out over there. So I have been there for a sort out. But it is basically a state-of-the-art facility. It has vets on staff, beautiful, Jacqueline, I think you've seen it as well. Beautiful stalls. It's great to have it if you need it. My transports are, you know, you have a flight patron, so you don't really need to go to the ARC if everything checks out. But it is great to know that it is there. If there is a medical emergency, you know, there's veterinarians not far away, whatever you might need is right there. So the fact that your dogs are coming in and they're going to the ARC, that's great because you'll be going to a better facility. Really lovely place.
So Hayley, with these dogs coming from China, a lot of people surmise that there may be some psychological trauma there. Maybe there's some behavioral issues because of what they've experienced. Can you talk to us about what you've seen as far as the temperament in general? I know every dog's different, but in general, what's the temperament like?
Yeah. Honestly, personally, I would say from seeing the dogs that we've had adopted throughout the years and personally fostering a few of them myself, is they're just resilient, you know, like, I mean, yes, you've had some that do have some trauma, but so does any other rescue dog, no matter if they're coming from the Chinese meat trade or if they're coming from being a dog on the street. I mean, I think every dog, like you said, is different. Do I see an overwhelming behavioral issues? No. I mean, we see resilience, we see adaptability. You know, again, just with any other rescue dog, you're going to have some that are super exuberant, some who are mischievous, some who are shy. And it's just about meeting them where they are, I think.
Keep in mind, when the dogs are selected for these flights, they're not selecting dogs that are not comfortable in the crates. These are dogs that like to be in their crates. And I know, like, even Billy, who came from Australia, you know, my Greyhound, he loves the crate. He'll go in there. That's his safe spot.
Yeah.
You know, Ellen, I'm going to ask you because as Hayley shared with us, some dogs are coming in from Australia to Motor City. What is the personality like of your Billy?
Oh my gosh. He's a little different in everything seems so new to him almost. It seems kind of hard to explain. He loves water. Absolutely loves the hose, which I've never had a Greyhound that loves playing, you know, biting the water with the hose and everything. He reminds me more of a sporty dog. He's up for it, you know, whatever you want to do, throw stuff, play catch. He's all good with that. Super sweet, absolutely super sweet boy. You know, just a little different. Still Greyhound personality, but just a little bit different. And then I find him to be a little bit more sporty. That's the best way that I can explain it.
To help emphasize what you described, Hayley, as far as the personalities or the what would it be? The disposition of the dogs coming in from China. One of my dogs is a meat trade survivor. And like you, a video of Carrie Lawrence, who is the who runs and she founded Candytown Rescue International. I have a picture of her walking out of the market, the meat market, with my dog on a leash and two other dogs. So she had gone into the market. I don't know how she does that, but she's a very strong person.
Yeah.
So she went in, she bought the dogs. They don't care who they sell the dogs to. You know, or what you're going to do with them, obviously. So I videoed her walking out with the three dogs, and all I said to the group I got him from was, I just need cat tolerance. Cat tolerance. That's it. And I fully expected, and I prepared my kids and my husband for a project dog. You know, like you know, this is going to be a dog with a lot of trauma. So he's the only one that came over in that group that was cat tolerant. So I got him, which was very good. And I brought him home, and from the moment he walked into this house, he lived here. He just looked at the other dogs and just kind of went, sup, you know? And he looked at the cat and he's like, hey, cats. And he just kept going. He found the couch.
Yeah.
That was it. He's the most well-adjusted dog
Yeah.
I've ever met. I was shocked. I was ready to do some work, you know, and
He's just
yeah.
ready to live his best life, you know?
The reason that the Flying Dog Foundation exists is to help facilitate as best we can with as much money as we can these types of rescue transports. I know when it comes to transporting dogs, especially from China, it's expensive. What can you tell me about the costs of doing these transports?
Yeah, it is very costly. And we are so appreciative of the Flying Dog Foundation because we wouldn't be able to do like all of the work that we, would do if it weren't for you guys. So we really appreciate it. But it comes down lately, right? Because of, not being able to send a flight volunteer, it comes down to about $3,000 a dog. So it's probably about half of that, maybe closer even to 1,000, at least as of a couple years ago, prior to the pandemic when we were able to send flight volunteers as far as the cost per dog. Because now we have to fly them as cargo. And you mentioned the ARC earlier, some of, when we do fly the dogs into JFK, the dogs do stay at the ARC, I believe, for one night. Until our volunteers are there to retrieve the dogs and then drive them back to the Detroit area. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's an expense. And I think you probably were going to ask Jacqueline, like, well, why, getting dogs from, if it's such an expense, right, from overseas.
Yeah.
And
we hear that criticism once in a while, not too often. I'm sure people are thinking it though. Yeah, why spend all this money?
Yep. And I personally been asked that, as a flight volunteer, I've been asked by, family members, friends, and things like that. Like, well, there's dogs here. And I'm like, yeah, but kind of to piggyback off the reasoning why you two started the Flying Dog, Foundation is, we were getting dogs left and right from the track. I mean, we were always getting dogs from Florida, from Alabama. We just weren't getting the dogs from the track anymore. And so we had to be like, well, we know, like you said, right? We know how to raise money. We have this passion for this breed, right? And so we sort of, our name is MotorCity Greyhound Rescue, but we've sort of opened the doors to sighthounds, more broadly. It's just like, how can we help? And if we can help, if we have the means to do it, we want to do it. And, yes, is it costly? Sure. But we all have our passions and things. And, there's that saying, right, of like, I don't even know how it goes exactly, but the saying of like, you're like, you made the difference in that one dog's life, right? And so if we can do that with as many dogs as we can, we want to make the difference for that dog. And then knowing too, hearing other people's stories of being able to rescue and save these dogs from horrific conditions. I mean, it's definitely worth it, and we will keep doing it for sure.
One thing I like to say is sometimes it takes $50 to rescue a dog. Sometimes it takes 3,000. But both dogs need rescuing.
That's such a good way to say it. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't just say, well, let's just rescue the dogs that are around the corner. If you have the ability and the skills to be able to help the ones that are in dire need, then absolutely, that's what the Flying Dog does, and you'll hear us use that expression a lot of times, dogs in dire need. That really is where our focus is.
Hayley, let's say that I want to adopt one of the meat trade survivor dogs, an Australian dog, an Irish dog from MotorCity Greyhound Rescue. How do I go about that?
Yeah, so you can go to our website. It's motorcitygreyhoundrescue.org and fill out the adoption application. You can see our list of adoptable dogs.
I do want to say, so we talked about the costs and of transporting the meat trade survivors, and how the Flying Dog Foundation works to help fund these transports, either all or a portion, as much as we can, we send. And we currently have a fundraiser going on right now for MotorCity Greyhound Rescue, and it is specifically to fund or help fund this transport that's happening later on this summer. And Ellen, I know you have one of our gifts over there. If folks donate to this fundraiser, and every penny counts, every penny, and we are so grateful for every penny. But if you donate $50, 50 US dollars or more, you will get.
Now, I love this item. It's a solar powered, so you charge it with solar power at the top, lantern. It also has a USB, so you can charge your phone or whatever device you might have that has a USB hookup. I'm going to do the light for you so you can see how incredibly bright this thing is, but I'm going to use my hand to shield it. So that's lantern, then you have a low lantern, you know, the strobe, sorry, everybody. And it also works as a flashlight. So I'm going to just do it on my hand. It also works as a flashlight. So it is just a great item. It comes with a, I think the dog is laying on the cord. No, I got it. It comes with a charging cord, but it comes with this cord, but you could charge any phone with it. In fact, I actually brought my charging cord here so we can take a look at it. And you can plug it in and it will charge my phone. I guess you guys can see it, right? So yeah, this is super, super handy, especially when the summer coming around. I don't know, people live, you know, places that may have issues like we do. We lose our power frequently. So this is just a great device to have around. And we have something extra, which, oh, good, he's not laying on this. For the first 20 people, and I believe, Jacqueline, I believe it's a donation of $50 or more, and you get the wonderful solar charging lantern, which we love. It's going to come with something else that Jacqueline will show you in a moment, but you're also going to get, for the first 20 people, are going to get the Candy's Hound Rescue decal.
Nice.
So put that on your car or wherever else you might like to put it. And Jacqueline, you have the other part of this wonderful gift.
I do. I have it right here. So hopefully you can see this. We have this keychain. It's got an airplane on it. This is like it's a nice size metal airplane. And it's got this paw print that says the Flying Dog Foundation on one side. And then on the other side, can you see that, guys? It's like
yeah.
I always have trouble explaining this, but it's like
laser engraved.
Thank you, Ellen. Laser engraved paw print on a key ring. If you're one of the first 20 people to donate $50 or more, you'll get the sticker from Candy's Hound Rescue International. You will get the keychain with the airplane and the paw print that says the Flying Dog Foundation, and you will get this lantern slash flashlight slash USB charger.
Nice. That's a good deal, ladies. I love it.
Good deal. It is a good deal. So in all seriousness, everyone, please, if you can, please donate to our fundraiser. Let's get these dogs over here. When they come over, there's room for more to be rescued over in China from the meat trade. And these dogs that are coming over, they've been waiting a long time because first we had the pandemic, and then we had CDC restrictions, and then we had the counterpart to the CDC in Canada restrictions, and it's been awful. But we're finally able to see these dogs, these beautiful, beautiful, sweet dogs, moving from the kennels in China into the US and sometimes maybe Canada. So please, if you can give, please do. If you can't, please share our fundraiser and spread the word. Let people know. Let's get these dogs in the air. Hayley, any parting thoughts for us?
I just am so grateful for all that you guys do, and how it truly takes a lot of people coming together. And at the end of the day, right, like we wouldn't be anywhere without any of the, the people who donate to to Candy's Hound International. We wouldn't be anywhere without people who donate to the Flying Dog Foundation, to MotorCity Greyhound, right? Like, it truly is a team effort to make this happen. So thank you and kudos to you guys. And thanks to everybody who's going to donate or share this. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and it is our absolute pleasure. And Ellen, I'm going to go to you. Any final thoughts?
I think people are going to really love our incentive gift. It's a lot of fun. You know, this is one of those things where these dogs really need to be saved. There's really no other alternative for them. You know, there's no life for them living in China in a meat market. And certainly, you know, once they're rescued in China, it's time for them to move out into the world. And I think all of the people who support us so that we can give these grants and get these dogs into the homes where they ultimately need to be. So thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for joining on this
Thank you, Hayley.
really
Yes,
fun Zoom. And yes,
you.
Hayley, thank you so much. And our thanks to MotorCity Greyhound Rescue for sending you as the representative to talk to us, and no one else wanted to, Ellen.
Hey, I got voted.
Hayley, thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it. Here's to a stellar fundraiser. Here's to a safe flight and the dogs landing in their new country, the United States of America. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.